This is Ryan Watches a Movie, where we get our friend Ryan to watch a movie and tell us what he thought.
Going balls out in the lumberyard.
Watching the Grunion Pro Magi. If you're listening to this, don't even waste your time.
Hello and welcome to Ryan Watches a Movie. This is episode number 230. My name's Adam Patterson. Joining me today, we got Kevin Rakestraw. How are you, Kevin?
I'm doing good.
Doing good? How are you, Ryan? We're joined by Ryan Holes.
I'm alright.
All right, well, that's good to hear. What movie do we have you watch?
Hannah Montana, the movie.
Hannah Montana, the movie.
What?
Uh-oh.
Oh, God.
This came out in 2009. This is directed by Peter Chelsom. Picked this in honor of The Space Between Us coming out this week. Same director.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's foreshadowing for this movie, but we'll get into Peter Chelsom's work a little bit later. I have a synopsis here. As Hannah Montana's popularity begins to take over her life, Miley Stewart, on the urging from her father, takes a trip to her hometown of Crowley Corners, Tennessee, to get some perspective on what matters in life the most. Ryan, tell us a little bit about Hannah Montana, the movie.
Well, right off the bat, I'll tell you I learned one thing, and that is Hannah Montana's best friend in this movie, and the Hannah Montana show is Haley Joel Osment's sister.
Oh, okay. That would be Emily Osment.
How about that?
Of that, I learned nothing except this movie sucked.
So you learned two things. Would you rate it as educational in that regard?
In that regard, yes. Overall, no. In that regard, yes. Basically, Hannah Montana, well, I should say Miley Cyrus, is a normal person, and her alter ego, if you will, is Hannah Montana. And she does that to keep her personal life away from her famous life. So she wears a wig, and it's really, really difficult for me to understand how no one knows. Because it's literally a blonde wig, and that's it. And of course, the way they dress. But in that, they look the exact same. And Hannah Montana, at this point, is a worldwide superstar. And no one knows that Hannah and Miley Cyrus, or Miley, I forget what, Miley
Stewart.
Miley Stewart are the same person.
No one's figured it out.
Except for her dad, her brother, and her publicist, and her best friend.
Wow.
And whenever she needs to be Miley, her best friend wears sunglasses and pretends to be Hannah Montana. So, throughout this, towards the beginning, this best friend is having a birthday party, and Miley Cyrus, or I keep doing it, Miley Stewart says that she's going to show up as normal and she wouldn't miss it for the world, blah, blah. She was all Miss Hannah Montana. Does a performance, everyone goes nuts, and she never changes into Miley. She's face Hannah at her best friend's party. So they kind of falling out about it, and Miley's dad decides to go back to their hometown in Tennessee, and while there, Hannah runs into one of her own, or Miley runs into one of her childhood friends, and decides to give him another go around. when they're on a date, she also, at the same time, has to be Hannah Montana somewhere else. So there's much of hijinks that happen going back and forth. And eventually, a little girl figures it all out, and everything falls apart. And Hannah's doing a song, and in the middle of the song, she decides that her dad and her family and her friend have given up enough, and she's going to reveal herself as Miley. And she does so, and learns a lot of life lessons, and everyone lives happily ever after.
All right. So, what did you think of this thing?
Crap.
Oh God.
Crap, huh? Can't say as I'm surprised, honestly. I didn't really know too much about this movie. I kind of knew the fact that she had an alter ego or whatever, and it was sort of like a Gem in the Holograms thing, right? Where
Yeah, I know.
but I didn't really understand how she was able to hide it either. But also, when she revealed who she was, were most of the people in the audience like, okay? Because it'd be like,
they're like all
you know what I mean?
And surprised.
But it'd be like Justin Bieber getting out on stage and be like, hey guys, guess what? I'm not Justin Bieber. I'm Steve Danvers. And we'd be like, all right.
Yeah. But like,
you know, like,
what's Steve Danvers do? Oh, I just live a normal life in Quebec.
Yeah, it's like
cool. Are you gonna do like your Justin Bieber thing? Because we paid money to come see this show. So can you be Bieber instead of Danvers for right now?
I feel like the only people that it would affect would be her family and friends, the people that already know.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, allegedly, in this movie, she does this concert in her hometown in order to raise funds to build the town back, or buy the town back from,
of course,
an excavator who wants to build a shopping mall in the middle of this town.
That's like the ultimate plot line that Disney uses for their live action kids movies.
And one more thing, there's a guy in this that is like a reporter, and he's trying to expose her because he knows she has a secret but doesn't know what it is. But his daughters absolutely love her. And at the end of the movie, when she reveals herself as normal, that plays a big part with his daughters.
No, how so? Like, I don't understand.
Because they like her, obviously, and they talk to him and tell him not to write this expose on her. And he says okay, and then takes it one step further and he quits his job.
But
what?
What? Like he's not really ruining anyone's life. Like if he did indeed go ahead and write this scathing art, well, it wouldn't even be scathing, would it?
Because it sounds like he doesn't know anything about it. It sounds like he thinks she has a secret.
Which okay, so she does. She's not Hannah Montana, she's Miley Stewart, but it's not like Miley Stewart is like some terrible person. It's just she's just a normal girl. So even if he got that published in The Guardian or something, wouldn't they just be like, wouldn't like the overall reaction just be like, oh, okay.
I mean,
I guess this is based on him blowing her cover, and everyone not like to me, it's kind of like a really terrible superhero. Like they have to keep their identity hidden but then they like it would be completely different if this guy exposed Clark Kent as Superman, and it's really different from exposing Miley Stewart as Hannah Montana.
Right. It seems like, a lot of celebrities live like this where they just keep their personal lives very guarded and private. It just seems like she's trying to live her own like private personal life. I mean, a lot of celebrities do that in real life.
Yeah, I mean, if you could think of like a real world like connection, it would be like if what's that damn funk? Like if someone took their helmets off and you found out who they were.
Daft Punk?
Daft Punk. There you go.
What did you call him?
I
Damn
said
Funk?
Damn Funk. I always said Damn Funk for some reason. Isn't that a band too?
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, it is.
Or Banksy. That'd be a big one.
I think Banksy would be a little bit bigger. But like as far as musicians go, like Daft Punk, if you take off the helmet, it'd just be like, oh, okay, that's what they look like. And then everyone would just kind of forget about it a couple of days later. And it wouldn't be that big of a deal. I mean, it's the same thing. Like, who cares?
It reminds me of there's an episode of Justice League Unlimited where Lex Luthor somehow inhabited the body of the Flash. And the first thing he did was he went into a bathroom and he's like, all right, well, let me see who the Flash is. And he took the mask off and he goes, I have no idea who this is. And that was the end of it. And it would be the same thing where she would reveal herself and everybody just be like, all right. So let's talk about performances. How was Miley?
Not great. I guess okay though. A little bit better than pretty much everyone else.
Better than Billy Ray? How was Billy Ray?
I hate him.
Not a Billy Ray fan?
No.
He definitely has a punchable face.
Well, yeah.
Like you see him and you just want to punch him because he has the long hair and the soul patch.
It's the soul patch. It's the soul patch. If anyone has a soul patch, you immediately want to punch them in the face. Because it doesn't make sense. You go through all that work to shave off the hair on your face, but then you leave that little bit. Like that's a dick move, really. It's irritating. It irritates me.
I noticed Margot Martindale is in this.
Oh my
gosh, probably the best actor in this bunch.
Oh wait, is that the lady from Justified?
Yeah, she's in Justified. Yep. And I also noticed that Moises Arias is in this too, from Kings of Summer.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's I believe that's the one that plays the childhood friend of mine.
Oh.
Like in love with now.
And he can't tell?
Apparently not. Like there's even one scene in the movie where they're outside and Hannah is talking to him and they're talking about Miley. Like, I don't know, whatever. I guess Disney has this, my stepsister used to watch, or not, my dad's girlfriend's show.
It would have been easier just to say stepsister and roll with it.
I like the correction.
Used to watch him, my dad, all the time.
I love that you chose child. It just sounds so like professional.
Yeah. So you think that it's just not a movie for you then? You don't think it was geared towards the 30-something-year-old man?
I mean, yeah. Disney builds this whole thing up like the secret identity means something. When in actuality, it means absolutely nothing. And we're supposed to love it and be interested in what's happening. I have no idea how they made a show on this. And I'd stayed on for so many years. Like, how do you keep getting ideas?
Well, yeah, that's a good point. But the Disney Channel stuff and all the live action Disney stuff, there's such a huge disparity between that stuff and the animated stuff and the Marvel stuff and the Star Wars stuff, you know, their franchises. It kind of boggles your mind when you turn on the Disney Channel and see what's on there and you're like, this is Disney. This is like a respected company. We do do a lot of reviews of Disney stuff, like Blu-ray reviews, and I remember we got the one that what was it fucking called? It was the one where it was the kids of Disney villains. It was a movie about the kids of Disney villains. So you had like all of the big villains from all of the animated movies, and it was their children. And it was like the worst movie ever. It was so horrible. In fact, I don't even think they released it on Blu-ray. They just came out with it on DVD. They're like, this isn't even good enough for Blu-ray. Let's talk about Peter Chelsom. So, in addition to Hannah Montana, the movie, he did Hear My Song from 1991, Funny Bones, The Mighty. Is that based on the book? Yeah, it is. There was a book I read in school. It was about that. It was about like a scrawny little kid and like a big dumb kid, and they teamed up. I think the book was called Freak the Mighty or something. Town and Country. I wanted to give you that one because that one looks pretty bad, and that's actually his worst rated movie. That's with Warren Beatty and Diane Keaton.
Warren Beatty and Diane Keaton?
Yeah, and apparently it's just awful. It's got a really bad cover, so...
There's a bunch of people in that movie. Jesus. Charlton Heston, Goldie Hawn, Jenna Elfman. Whatever happened to Jenna Elfman, by the way?
Good question. I don't know.
Shit. Oh, my God. Gary Shandling? Jeez.
He did Serendipity
Actually,
with John Cusack and Kate Beckinsale.
I saw that.
I heard it was good.
No, it's terrible.
Is it?
It's so fucking dumb. God, it's
I never
awful.
saw it. He did Shall We Dance? That was the one with Richard Gere and Jennifer Lopez and Susan Sarandon. Quite a track record here. My goodness. Then he did the Hannah Montana movie. Then he did Hector and the Search for Happiness, which was the Simon Pegg one.
This guy's all over the place.
I feel like I saw that one. Maybe not.
But I just find it astounding the people that he's worked with.
Yeah.
Based on what, though? Like,
I know these movies are really bad.
Because usually if you have like, you know, a kind of shitty director working now, there's at least like one movie back in the 90s or 80s that you're like, oh yeah, that's the one that put them on the map. And that's why they're getting these actors and stuff. But I haven't heard of any of these except for Serendipity.
I mean, I heard of them. I've just never seen them, and they all look bad to me. I've heard of a number of them, but I just... they're all kind of like romantic comedies. And then he did The Space Between Us, which we'll talk about in a second. So yeah, not a great lineup there. His highest rated movie, according to Rotten Tomatoes, is Hear My Song from 1991. I think that's probably his first movie. That got a 93%. His lowest rated movie, again, is Town and Country. Any final thoughts on Hannah Montana, the movie, before we give you your drum roll, Ryan?
I hate Miley Cyrus. I hate when she talks. I hate Billy Ray Cyrus. I hate everything about this movie.
All I can think of is when SNL spoofs Miley. That's all I can think of.
Same here.
Because that was just amazing. All right, Ryan. What are you going to give Hannah Montana the movie? 2. There we go. So, have you seen anything about this movie, The Space Between Us?
Oh, I saw a couple trailer.
And?
Nope.
There you go.
But it's about a kid who grew up on Mars, and he comes home, and his heart's weak because he lived on Mars forever, and his heart's going to explode.
Yes, fuck, my heart's weak, and I live on Mars forever. No one cares.
Ryan's like, boo-hoo.
Boo-hoo, you have a weak heart.
Give me a break. At least your legs work.
Yeah, anyway. A lot of people in this one. We got Asa Butterfield is the lead. Gary Oldman's in it. Britt Robertson, B.D. Wong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch out for these middling reviews.
Yeah, well, it currently has a 9%.
Oh,
so
never mind.
That's with 33 reviews already counted. So not looking too good for The Space Between Us.
Does this have anything to do with what the fuck is it? The Fault in Our Stars?
No.
I have nothing to do with that.
I mean, it's a love story, but I think that's pretty much the only connection there. And I imagine that he'll die at the end, probably, because his heart and all that. But I don't know. Why doesn't she just go to Mars with him and just live with him on Mars?
Yeah, why don't they just walk outside on Mars where there's no oxygen and die?
They might.
That is an option.
Have to make this movie.
How angry does the title make you, Kevin? The Space Between Us.
I like it because there's depth. There's depth there.
It works on a couple levels.
Yeah.
Because space, but then also space.
Which I think they put all that into the title and not the movie. Yes.
Yeah, I feel like they put a lot of effort into the title and none into the movie.
Yep, that's just what Kevin said. But
thank you, Ryan, for reiterating that. Appreciate it, buddy.
Two worlds, one connection.
Watch it. What I've seen new trailers, and it looks not good.
No, definitely not doing it for me either. So there you have it. Any final thoughts, Ryan, on The Space Between Us or Hannah Montana, the movie?
You're both stupid.
All right. Fair enough. I think that's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can send us your questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. You can follow us on Twitter @FilmPulseNet, @FilmPulseKevin, and @MyLegsDon'tWork. And if you have a minute, take a look at our Patreon page, patreon.com/FilmPulse. Consider helping us out by becoming a subscriber. For Kevin Rakestraw and Ryan Holes, my name's Adam Patterson. We'll see you next week.
See you later.